Hey guys, so this week I'm coming to you from a new setup. I recently moved my desk just in a better position to where I could film from it pretty much all the time if I wanted to, other than when we're filming from the kitchen. And it's just because like my room is kind of narrow and we have a lot of big furniture. So before, like where my desk was sitting, I didn't really have like a lot of room to have like a chair in between there and the bed. And even if I could fit it, like the backdrop was kind of like trying to, you know what, but I'm just gonna skip doing a backdrop. I mean, what are you guys gonna see? I collect stuffed animals. Plus, I mean, you guys seem to really like be cool with the fact that I'm just kind of like a normal person. So yeah, so I did do a different setup so that I can record more. Right, this week's video is a huge culmination of multiple things that I'm going to be showing you guys. Normally I would try to break this up into shorter videos so that it wouldn't be super long, although a lot of you seem to really love the longer videos. But next week I'm going to the Route 11 yard crawl, and I'll explain that in a minute because that's kind of wild in itself. And then the week after that I go on vacation. Next week I'd like to make a video for you guys from the Route 11 yard crawl. If possible. Like, I'm just a little nervous about like filming outside of my house. Like you guys saw, like in the antique mall, like I was trying to be like really quiet and inconspicuous and there was like nobody around. With the yard crawl, there are hundreds and hundreds of people around. I mean, it's mostly all outdoors. This particular one is 43 miles of consecutive yard sales, and there's just tons of them, like just back to back to back. They have these like areas where it's like giant clusters of sales with like hundreds and hundreds of vendors. It takes hours and hours and hours. So I'm really, of course, hoping this year to, and I didn't get to go last year because of COVID. They canceled it, and even though some people still technically like low-key had it, I didn't go. So Bear takes me every year. Last year was the first year we didn't go. This year, of course, I'm hoping to find a lot of LOL OMG dolls now that people are kind of getting over them. Maybe some Rainbow High dolls that kids didn't love enough or got over. I usually find a little Monster High, Ever After High, that kind of stuff. And I pretty much go predominantly for either dolls, or every now and then if there's shops that have like rocks and crystals, I'll get some for my other collection. But mostly I just look for dolls, so it's pretty quick in and out of every booth. So you know, that's the thing. Now in Virginia we have 3 of these. In August we have the Route 11 yard crawl, which is like 43 miles. In September I think it's like the Route 340 yard crawl, and then in October they have the Route 29 yard crawl, which is over 100 miles of back-to-back yard sales. So I don't know like if other states have that, but it is something you guys might want to look up, because it is really cool, and it's a great way to go out and look for dolls like a whole bunch all at once. So fingers crossed I find some good sales, but I will try to make a video from that. Alright, so this week's video, like I said, it's a billion things. Like I literally had to write everything down just so I could remember what all I wanted to talk to you guys about. So I guess the first thing is, and probably the reason why most of you are here, is that I, if you follow my Instagram, recently found the Winter Break dolls, Jett Dawson, and the like fashion closet. Normally, like at least in the last couple of lines, when they come out I go and buy them all in the same day. I got all of the cheerleader dolls in the same day. I got all of the series 2 dolls in the same day. It's kind of like get them and get them over with, and then collect second ones to die like as the weeks go along and I'm not really pressed for it or whatever. That didn't happen with Winter Break, and it wasn't because of the rising cost. And while I do think that as far as them being like $40, they are worth it in a lot of ways because the clothes are beautiful. The clothes are so, for the most part, really well made, at least the ones I've gotten. I haven't seen a lot of complaints about the clothes. Most of the complaints come from the fact that there are terrible faces. Like when I went to look for Sunny, you guys, I found 5 out of the 6 of them had really bad faces, and the one I thought had a good face, brought her home, deboxed her, and because her hair kind of covers her eye, didn't even see that there was like smear and whatever. It is really annoying when you pay $40 for a doll and there are defects, and we're not even going to get into that right yet because folks get wild about the whole issue. So yeah, and okay, so the first one that I got had really terrible hair. So I got Jade. Jade was really good. She looked perfect in box. I got her home, realized her lipstick was crooked. I was like, you know what? I've been wanting a Jade with black lips. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna give myself the goth Jade of my dreams. And so I did. And she got some black hair dye. I actually took a vote on my Instagram stories for how you guys wanted her hair, if you wanted it green and black, black and green, or all black. This is what you guys voted for, so this is what I did. So she's got like this lovely ombre effect going on here. And of course she got the black lips I so desperately want. I love Winter Jade's makeup. I love these little stars. Like, finding her with good makeup wasn't bad. I mean, the lipstick was a little off, but honestly, even if I hadn't customized her, it wasn't anything to write home about and complain about. So of course, I mean, I dressed her up. I've been meaning to put Bad Girl OMG's like leg warmers on her, but I haven't yet, just because like I still have to sort through a ton of doll stuff right now because it's all just like jumbled in a little basket. But I also, and this is what I'll show you guys later, gave her gauged ears just like my own. We gave her some little flesh tunnel plugs, so that's a thing. And actually I think it was Alaska Dollhouse on Instagram that brought up the issue, and it's something that I had done on like BJDs and Pulips, but I hadn't done on really any dolls since, because like with Rainbow High, like their heads were so small, like it just, I don't know, it seemed weird. I like big apple-headed dolls, I really do, which is why I think I kind of fell for OMG even though I hadn't planned to. But like, they're kind of like Blythe, and they have this flat pancake head. So like, but between those and these guys, I definitely love Rainbow High more. They really remind me more of Pulips, which is where I got my start in doll stuff, like just as a collector. So it's something about that kind of nostalgia feel. They do have much better bodies than Pulips have ever had, and like the 4 body types, at least that I know of since I stopped collecting, that Pulips have ever had, these are 100% hands down. I mean, they're a little chunky, they're a little like playline-ish in comparison, they're not as like sleek, and I love them so much more. They're sturdy, they're great. So yeah, so I ended up customizing my first Winter Break Jade, which is weird because usually I'm the kind of person who believes the first one goes to Blathers. Sorry, Animal Crossing reference, but yeah, the first one is usually the one I keep like, not really stock, because I always redress them and restyle their hair and whatever, but to keep their hair color the color it came in. Then I usually dye the second one. With Jade, I really didn't do that because I already was going to customize her with repainting her lips. Now with Sunny was the second one I got. She was the one I looked forward to the most. Technically I got her and Poppy at the same time, so I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna dye both of them. Poppy was actually perfect. My first Sunny, like I said, she looked perfect in box, and then I realized she had like makeup smears, and they're not, it's whatever. I ended up dyeing Poppy. Now let me tell you guys, she was actually supposed to be, you guys had voted for Pink Lemonade, but I could not for anything, even with other types of dye, get the yellow to take in her hair, not even with human dye, not anything. So I was like, you know what, the heck with it, I'm gonna go fuchsia. I really missed the fuchsia Poppy that I had once before. It'll be great. So I was dyeing more than one thing at a time because I do take commissions. I tend to dye all the dolls on one day, as you guys have seen in the past. So my son comes in to tell me that like he really thinks he has like serious injury to his foot. But of course that night, like, I'm very, very concerned about him because I love my children a whole lot, like more than honestly anything. So it was one of those things where, because I was dyeing more things in one time and I'm listening to him and wasn't even paying attention, and I dipped her in indigo. So I'm gonna show you guys a picture of that. But it wasn't even that it wasn't cool. Like, she ended up with like this really cool kind of mermaid hair, because her hair, the pink and the orange don't dye the same. So like, I think the orange actually turned indigo, and then the pink turned like this really wild, like seaweed green color. It wasn't even bad. I didn't really love the way it went with her makeup personally. A ton of people actually liked it on Instagram and had mentioned wanting to do the same on their dolls, which I thought was really cool. But so yeah, at that point her hair was so dark, there wasn't much I could do except for go black, so I did. But it's weird. Like, I actually did like a much warmer black. It's not like the cool toned blue black that I normally do. Her eyebrows not looking even remotely close, like way too light for the dark hair. I went ahead and kind of repainted over those. So this is my custom Poppy for now. And of course she's got Jett shoes on, and I just want to say, like, tying these, like, look, I can tie a bow, but tying them to where the actual word rainbow is predominantly showing was harder than I thought. Now, the purse is actually like an old Pulip purse from back in the early days. I think maybe, did it come with cornice? Maybe not. I don't even remember what Pulip it came with, to be honest. Like, I had pretty much every one up until like 2000 and, when did I get divorced? Like 2007? 2008. I'm not even gonna get into Sunny. I've kind of just set her aside because I've decided that she's just gonna bait because her hair won't stop falling out. So I've been working on some like other stuff with her, like makeup removal, makeup application. She's just kind of become baity. I'm gonna hope that I can find another winter break sunny head on like AliExpress or eBay, so I can just buy the head and swap it out versus having to buy a whole another sunny. But don't take me wrong, I will if I have to. It is what it is. So yeah, finding winter break, the reason I don't even already have them all is finding ones with good makeup. There's a lot of variations in how heavy the glitter is on them. There's, you know, so that's a personal preference thing on some of them. There's smudged makeup, uneven eye makeup. Sunny has really bad uneven eye makeup. Like on one side, on most of the dolls, her eyebrow is higher than the other, which like in real life, mine are too. I kind of draw them on to fill them in and kind of even them out. But like, on my dolls, like, I mean, look, I'm not even that picky. I'm not one of those people who's like, oh, it has to be as perfect as possible. But like, I mean, let's keep it reasonable if I'm spending $40 on them. And I know everybody's like, oh, but the quality of Rainbow High is so great. It is. It is amazing. They have incredible clothes for doll clothes. I mean, when you look at every Barbie that comes out nowadays wearing the same shapeless, baggy t-shirt dress, you really appreciate the fact of what you're getting from Rainbow High for the price point. But does that still mean that I want a doll with a defective face and like half balding? No. And I think that we give the companies a pass so often that they're like, okay, well, it's all right to screw them over because they obviously don't mind. They're going to keep buying it anyway. So that's the thing. We always see people complaining about like Jett Dawson, for instance. If you guys have seen it on my Instagram, on other Instagrams, on Facebook, underneath that bun, she is bald. And most of us expected it because Sunny was underneath her pigtails. Like, I get it. They do it for bulk. Minimize the bulk so that the buns and stuff are nicer. But, and hear me out here, they also do it because we let them. And you see like a huge rush of people complaining one day about how thin the hair is, and then the very next day it's a huge rush of people complaining about the people complaining about how thin the hair is and how we should all be grateful for it. And like, if I hear one more person say, well, they're Playline, it's okay that they're cheap and shoddily made, they're made for children. Do y'all hate children? Do you even have children? If it were a genuine collector item that was staying in box or only for display and it was half bald, wouldn't care because I'm just displaying it anyway. I'm not actually touching it, doing anything with it, restyling it, whatever. If it's Playline, it should be made better quality. If it's for children, it should be made top quality. Why would you give your children something that is shoddily made? Stop using its Playline as an excuse for things to not be made well. Now, the clothes are great. Does it mean that the hair and makeup should be sloppy? No. You do have to take it into perspective. I agree with that. But, like, it's okay to complain. It's okay if something didn't come out the way you wanted. I mean, it doesn't invalidate it just because other parts of it were good. It doesn't invalidate the fact that you're not happy with the fact that something is bad. And the people complaining that people are complaining, what are you really doing? Besides cluttering up the internet, like what are you accomplishing anything? Because I don't think you are. Because the next doll that comes out, those same people are still complaining about quality defects. Like, you're not. Anyway, enough of the rant. You guys are here for major stuff, and all of that stuff is gonna have to fit in this video, and I'm already almost like 20 minutes in. So yes, it took me a while to find the winter break dolls. That's why I don't have them all. I don't have Ruby, Skylar, Violet. I've only got one Poppy. I have two Sunnies. I did go back and buy a second one that had perfect makeup. Y'all, her hair is so disgusting. So first of all, she's rooted really well. There are no bald spots. There are no gaps. The rooting is very, very even, but her hair is very, very thin. Mostly because it's under a hat. Did y'all think that the kids weren't going to take the hat off? Is that the new excuse for why they're thin? Whatever. So her hair is thin. It's got a ton of gel in it. I washed it twice. I'm talking Dawn dish soap, regular soap, or like shampoo and conditioner, and it's still greasy. Like, as it was drying the second time, it made my hands sticky from where I was trying to like shape curls, because it's still crunchy, like really crunchy, you guys. Like, hold on a second. Do you guys hear that? That's the crunch after 2 washes. And I'm talking 2 thorough washes, not like rinsey. Like, and like I said, I mean, it's not even that the rooting is not close together. It's just very, very thin. And I get it. Oh, she wears a hat. Kids are going to take that hat off. If they can, because it was stapled to her head with like 3 or 4 of those little plastic taggy boys. Like, yeah. Maybe it wasn't meant to come off. Maybe children were expected to leave it on. But anyway, so that is why I don't have them all. I haven't been able to find them with good makeup. Obviously, people have had the same problem with Jett. A lot of us who pre-ordered from Amazon got it pushed back to like a couple of weeks late. So a lot of us have also been going out, especially YouTubers, and just kind of buying one to fill in the gaps, which is what I did while I'm waiting on my other one. Will I get numbered? Who knows? Do I care? Probably not. If I get numbered, I'll probably leave her in the box, which makes me feel like I'd be obligated to buy a third one to have a regular one to display. Since I dyed this one for you guys, I'd almost rather not, because like, I really don't want to spend more money on her, even though it's easy enough to sell off her stuff and kind of recoup some of that cost. So yeah, there's a lot of that. Jett's hair, like I said, it came thin. There's been staining from both the winter breaks and Jett. People have said Jett's glove stain. They've had staining from her hoodie. Mine has a little bit of staining on the back of one of her arms. It's very faint. It's not that serious, but it is there. So I would honestly probably undress her right away. And here's the thing, a lot of people are finding they can't even change her into her like evening gown because it doesn't fit. It is sewn so shoddily and so tightly. Straps are breaking, seams are ripping as people are trying to put it on their dolls, and they're not even being like rough, like they're gently kind of trying to tug it up over her thighs. Mine is so tight, even though I got it like fastened and it's good on that, it actually squeezes her legs together to where they're stuck crossed. So like she has to have a stand to even remotely stand up no matter what shoes she's wearing, because her feet are like this. Quality is beautiful, the fabric is beautiful. Again, like you're just kind of limited on complaints because it balances itself for some people more than others. So yeah, you have to watch out for her dress. The winter break dolls, especially like I know Jade and Ruby, I've seen a lot of it about, have really bad staining from the black in the threads in their clothes. So I don't know, Ruby has it really bad. I know Jett has it on her hands for some folks, from her gloves. Like I said, mine only had that little tiny, almost invisible spot on her shoulder. But I would be wary if you're going to debox them and undress them, that is a possibility that you'll get a doll with staining. Alright, so next up, I'm going to clip in here with my like mini review of Jett and the closet. What I will say is, was Jett worth the $60? It's hard for me to say. I appreciate the accessories she came with. Her clothes are really cute. I didn't love every piece because the pantyhose, I really feel like if they were white with the black like paint stripes or zigzags or ink stripes or whatever on them, they would have been cuter. It's the flesh tone that puts me off. And then the buckles on her jacket, I don't know if it's from like the oils on the workers' hands where they were trying to buckle them, or if it's the buckles themselves, but they do cause like a weird like brown grimy kind of stain around them. I really do think that it's probably finger oils because it's only in places where you have to spend a lot of time fidgeting. So I mean, that's a thing. She's very beautiful. She really is. I don't know if 60 is the price point I would have put her at. I think for a lot of people she's worth that. For me, I would have probably been more comfortable with like 50. If she were more like Avery priced, I think that would have been a little more comfortable. But she's not even that bad. She's not even that much more. It's not that serious. She's really lovely. Her accessories are cute. I've already sold them. They didn't last long because I have a second one coming, so I wasn't worried about it, and there was somebody who really wanted it. But yeah, like I think the closet is worth $60. And here's the thing, I don't even like most of the clothes in it. I kind of like 2 or 3 pieces of the clothing. All of the shoes are pretty cute except for one pair, to me anyway. But I actually like the case. Like, I was really shocked that it's like the size of your torso. You could fit multiple dolls, the clothing rack, all kinds of stuff in it. Like, it's actually really, really nice. It's very, very nice for the price point. I felt like it was far more worth it to me than Jett was if you were looking at spending $60. And even saying that kind of makes me feel bad because she is really beautiful. Like, I do not regret having more than one of her, but I really don't want to have 3 of her. Alright guys, so I'm going to throw that in right quick. Okay, so as far as Sunny's coat, it's not my favorite piece. As far as Poppy's dress, it's kind of very reminiscent of when you first start learning to make doll clothes. So you cut up an old sock. There's this like weird dark shadow like underneath where it looks like she has like a belly shadow. I don't really understand the design other than the butterfly wings. It's not even like it has stitching in it. Like, it's literally very amateur made. I just learned to make doll clothes. Very, very cheap sock material. I do think that this dress that I guess is made for like Ruby, really cute, but I don't understand why the buckles are so high up. Like they don't sit lower, like around like beneath the collarbone area. It's got it like up under her neck. So it's not very flattering as far as how it fits because the straps aren't long enough. This pink skirt is great. The t-shirt is great. All of these heels are really great. I like all of them. I think that it's cool that they included Amaya's purse finally, although it's not that fancy. The jeans are my favorite part in the whole collection. The black t-shirt has a design reminiscent of Mint's clothes that are coming out. I don't love this purple coat. I don't really think it's very flattering and I don't really understand it. The jeans are cute, but I don't understand the yellow caution belt. Like, I don't know what that's supposed to go with. This shirt goes great with Jade's shorts, but I don't like her shorts, so I don't know that that helps any. I also kind of hate the sneakers that are meant for her. I like the blue high heels well enough. I like the purple sneakers. They're probably like my favorite piece. I think the case is really greatly made. The chair is really cool. The mirror is really cool. The shelves are really cool. The earrings are cute. I really think the case itself is great. It's got these little like cardboard pieces that were filler. I really wish they'd make these pieces, honestly. I think that they're really cool. The little star earrings, the pink purse, the white shoes. The orange are just kind of recolored Bella's shoes, which I already dyed a pair of those. But I still think that these would be cool if they were made. And then they have the cardboard cutouts for things that were already made. Bella's earrings, Crystal's shoes, Bella's shoes, etc. Okay guys, so the stand is a really shimmery pale white. So is the comb. The gloves are really nice quality, especially the embroidery. The fake leather probably won't hold up well. The hands are cute. She's got really nice black nails. Mine didn't stain from the gloves either, but they also have this really weird long peg on one of them, which we've seen in the newer dolls. The pantyhose are not my favorite thing with the flesh tone, but they're nicely made. The skirt is really cute. I think the detail's really nice. It's kind of rubbery though, the print on it. The jacket is also really nicely made. It's very nicely detailed. It's got this cool little tag in it, which all the clothes kind of do. But you can see where the buckles are. There's like a lot of kind of grimy looking brown staining. And like I don't know that it's from the buckles, honestly, because I see it on the belt. I think it's honestly from human hand oils. It's on every buckle. The shoes are really nice quality, really cute. I think they're really kind of chunky and adorable. They do still have some nice, really like cute little details as well. These shoes are great, but I'm just kind of worried that the ribbons won't stay up when you tie them. They'll slide down on the leg. This hoodie is really cute, but again, it's got that very, very rubbery type of print. The embroidery is nice on all of it though, but the dress definitely takes the cake. The embroidery is beautiful on it. The fabric is really beautiful. The stitching could probably use some help, but I can't sew, so I can't judge. The underskirt's gorgeous. It's sad that you don't really see it when the dress is on. As far as my Jett's hair, like her face came really good. Her bangs were excellently cut. They weren't crooked or choppy. I've already taken her out of the bun. You can see that there are a little bit of bald spot under there. It's not bad compared to other people's. However, on her part line, like I'm gonna have to get some purple and black and like reroute this because the part line is messed up and it doesn't even go in the bun. So I don't want to hear anything about, oh, it goes in the bun so it's gonna be thin. Great joints, great leg mobility, although I don't understand why anybody posed their doll with their leg that far back. Ankle joints are cool. Somebody had theirs shattered right out of the box. The foot fell off. I was really lucky. That didn't happen with mine, and I don't think it's a common occurrence. The dress fits really great on mine. I know for a lot of people they had broken straps. They just had it like where it wouldn't go on at all. It was just way too tight. Huge gaps in the back, torn seams. I was very, very lucky I didn't have any of that. So mine has like a small gap in the back where it goes on, but common in doll clothes. It's not that bad compared to most people's that I've seen so far. Like there have been people's who are just really torn up, gapped open, and wild. I personally clip the hand, like the extra long peg. It doesn't make the hand loose to do it. Okay guys, so now you have that. I'm going to give you a couple of other things. I'm going to toss in a shine removal tutorial. So this is a thing that was very recent for me. I was trying to remove paint on something. I don't even remember what it was. I don't even know if it was a doll, one of the action figures, something. And I needed nail polish remover. Sally's wasn't open. It was late at night. I didn't know if I'd find straight acetone. I couldn't find it at Walmart. So I got this stuff that's like advanced nail polish. So I imagine it's just like heavier in the acetone levels. You guys, like this stuff works miracles. So I'm going to throw that in because you're going to see me remove some of Avery's makeup. You're going to see me be able to remove. I removed Jade's cheerleading cheeky stickers things. Now look, so my first one I did with regular nail polish remover and it stained really bad. This second one, no stains, no yellow marks. It took it off in like seconds. I know that you guys have asked me like, how do I do it with like such precision? I'm going to show you guys the specialty Q-tips I use. They have like a little, almost like a teardrop shaped head, so they have a very like small point. So that's a thing. And then, yeah, so I'm going to show you guys some shine removal and some makeup removal, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so this is the stuff I got. It's a Quate brand. It's from Walmart. Really easy to find. I think it was like $3 or $4. Really cheap. And then I have these little Q-tips, and they have like very sharp kind of points on them. Not like sharp, but you know, like very pointed and stiff. Makes it easier to get into smaller areas. So I have this on Maya, and her face is kind of overly shiny. I've done a couple of other dolls. As you can see, it comes off immediately. It's almost like it's just cleaning their face, like genuinely cleaning it. Their face looks so much lighter, honestly, without all of that. It does take the blush off. You may have to reblush your dolls. I've shown how to do that in a previous video. But it does get all the shine off, which is kind of nice. I honestly prefer the matte faces. These little points, they're great for around the corner of their mouth, like edging around the corner of their nose, kind of under the eye. So I will say, like, that is kind of nice to be able to get in those small spots. Okay, so here she is, all finished and clean of shine. Like, I really honestly kind of prefer the matte face. I actually really liked the shine on most of the dolls, but some of them had it so thick and heavy that it honestly, when the light would hit it, would distort their facial features, which was kind of annoying. Alright, so next up, I'm going to go in on Avery. I honestly have always hated how heavy Avery's eye makeup is. If you guys look, like, there's a pretty good difference. Now, I have seen some people who removed her eye makeup and their eyebrows were so high that it was too big of a gap. But I feel like mine are pretty reasonable. There is some glitter left behind from her glittery eyeshadow, but, like, she 100 times looks better without all of that. I feel like maybe I'm just not big on dolls that have too much eyeshadow on. It's just too much for me. Okay guys, so some of the other things people have been asking about now that you have my tips for shine and makeup removal. How did I do the gauged ears with the flesh tunnel plugs? I'm going to throw that in right quick so you guys can watch that. I literally found the little, I guess they're called rivets. I found those on Jade at Michael's, and they were like, I think like $3 or $4. And there was like a huge amount of them. I really didn't even need that amount. I don't know what else I'm going to use them for. But that's a thing. Now, I honestly wanted a hand drill, but I couldn't find any in stores. All the stores around me were all sold out. I didn't want to have to wait to order one from Amazon because it would have made this video even later, or this section have to be in a different video. So I was like, you know what? I asked my husband, I was like, can I use one of your drill bits? And he gave it to me, and I found one that kind of was the right size to fit in her ear really well, like really close, like not too small, not too big. And then I just kind of like angled it to curve out like a little wider of a hole. Now, I did put a dab of glue on these before I put them in so that they won't fall out. So that's something to consider. I'd be careful using stuff like super glue, etc. But like maybe like a small drop of like E6000 would be all right. So I did do that because, like I said, Alaska Dollhouse on Instagram brought it up in another post that I had done of her. And I was like, I know how to do that. I've done that before. So I did it again, but this time on Rainbow High. Alright, so I'm going to let you guys check that out. So these are rivets by a company called Recollections. You can get them at Michael's for about $3. I got the smallest possible size they had. They're in the scrapbooking area of Michael's. So I'm just going to take one of those out, and basically it's just a tiny bit too large for her ear hole the way it is. So I have this like drill bit, and of course you can get a hand drill, etc. The size drill bit I used, I'll make sure to show you guys that. This is one that just fits in like an actual like drill. I think it's like 5/64. It's a pretty small bit, but I basically just kind of put it in her ear and kind of aim it kind of to the side, like kind of diagonally, and just barely slowly turn by hand. And you'll see that it'll start to take away a little bit of the plastic. Her ear holes are really close to being the right size already, so you don't really need to take out that much. Go very slow, check in between, be really careful. All you're doing is just widening that hole a tiny bit, and then they just pop right in. Like, honestly, like I said, I put a bit of glue on them just to keep them from popping back out. Alright guys, next up is Blonde Bella. So I have noticed that everybody who has gotten a blonde Bella, they have all had a different shade of blonde. A lot of it is how long you leave her in the dye. There was a fellow I know on Instagram, Paul Maggs, I think his name was, not Instagram, Facebook, and he did his blonde Bella by using a human hair dye that was teal. And a lot of people were like, wait, how did that happen? Now, I've gotten blonde Bella using a blonde human hair dye. This is with Rit Tan in a like 60-second sink wash. It was very, very, very quick. Yeah, she's a little bald too. But again, you can go in and remove their scalp paint with the acetone of sodium. I don't know how it will react with the hair though, so that's one of those things that you should probably be wary of. Or you could repaint the scalp, which is not that hard. It's just a little more time consuming because you have to let the layers of paint dry as you flip the hair over. So yeah, that's a thing. But yeah, so her hair is really, really lovely and blonde. I needed her as the number 10 Bella in my collection. Her curls held up really well in all of this. I think she's really cute in Sunny's outfit. But yeah, so it was like I said, like a 60-second sink wash. It took less than 3 minutes from start to finish to get her. I'm gonna show you guys how I did that. A lot of people are wondering how teal works in the same way that tan does, because they're obviously very different colors. But if you look at Rit Tan, when you pour it in the sink, and you'll see it in my video, it's very, very blue based. Blue being the opposite of like pink. I guess it just kind of neutralizes it, just like we talked about in a previous video with purple and yellow, blue and orange. So it's just really about colors that neutralize each other. Alright, so I'm going to show you guys that, and then I'll be right back for the part you've all been waiting for. Okay guys, so like I said, this time I'm using Rit Tan. It's the all-purpose, it's not dye more. Literally just hot water, maybe some salt and vinegar in the sink, and then you pour the dye in. If you watch when I pour it, the initial color is very blue based. So it's that blue that kind of neutralizes the pink and gives you blonde. This is after like 5 seconds in. There's still a little bit of pink, so I'm going to swish her around again. Alright guys, so she's all done. Here she is. I mean, this literally took less than 3 minutes from start to finish, and she's the perfect shade of blonde that I wanted. So just something to consider. It's really, really easy to get her. Okay guys, I know that at this point this video is forever long. You've probably skipped around just to see the parts you're interested in, and I don't blame you. So I guess I should start with the clothing. Honestly, I dyed Jett's clothes. I don't know why. Hear me out, okay? So originally, I just really hated those tights being flesh toned. It like ate at my soul. It was the one thing on the outfit that just wasn't cohesive. Could I have left it? Could I have just taken them off and left the outfit the way it was? Yes. You can't really dye them white. I mean, maybe you could paint them. That's a possibility, but you can't dye them white. I dyed them black. They kind of came out like a really dark gray. I didn't want them so dark that they matched the zigzags and like made it not visible. So I did that, but then I was like, okay, that works. But like I said, her jacket, where everywhere that the little buckles were, had like dirty fingerprint marks basically. Like I'm pretty sure it's finger oils and not the metal buckles themselves causing it. I mean, I could be wrong on that, but just the shade of brown it was versus the color on the buckles, like it didn't look like the buckles were causing it. Anyway, but I mean, her jacket looked dingy because of that, and I was like, I'm gonna dye it too. So the funny thing is, I actually dyed it to match more with her rainbow hair. Like it's a cool like fuchsia-y, violet-y color. I honestly did not think these two pieces would dye at all. I really thought that this white kind of paint stuff like just wouldn't even take color. And you can tell it's very different, like, because these came out almost reddish, whereas the writing came out 2 different shades of light pink. So I mean, that's a thing. Like, I genuinely wasn't expecting this to turn any color. And then I put her tights in that same vat of dye, and it took them from dark grayish black to like an ombre dark purple into violet. So like that's really cute. I like them. I mean, I can't put them on the Jett that I have currently because I dyed her hair and now it doesn't match. I don't know. With the second one, I mean, assuming she's not numbered and I open her, I'm probably not going to dye her clothes. I don't know how I'm going to deal with the jacket. Maybe a bit of white paint over the dingy marks if it has them. But everybody was saying it's really wild because Jett's, like her fancy dress is red and it absolutely clashes with her hair and her eyes. Like, her eyes are purple, her hair's got predominantly pink by the face, and then she's got this really kind of dark ruby red dress. And everybody, that's the thing, everybody's been putting this dress on Ruby. It looks amazing on Ruby. So I decided that I wanted to make it look good on Jett, and there was only one way to do that. I struggled with what color to dye her. A lot of people chimed in with colors they thought that she could look good in. White being the most predominant one, but like, you can't dye white. Like, I'd have to reroute, and my arthritis and carpal tunnel said no. So this is what we got. I ended up going with a dark red. This is the Scarlet from Rit. Honestly, I was out of cherry, but I'd like to go over it with some cherry just to make it a little more red, because you can still see some of the orange from where the orange hair was. Everything else dyed pretty evenly. But yeah, I would definitely like to go over it with some cherry, or maybe just another shot of the Scarlet to make it a little richer. But it does go, as you can see, like, much better with her dress now. I feel like I'm going to be pretty proud to display her. I did go ahead and put her hair back up in the bun. She honestly kind of reminds me of the checkerboard hair Ruby that I did. So that's like a thing. But yeah, you can kind of tell like where the pink was, where the orange was, or maybe it was yellow. I can't remember. Anyway, but it's all relatively even. Like I said, I'll probably go over it one more time just to make it chef's kiss. But I do really love her. Like, look how pretty this is, and you can't even see it. Like, it's completely hidden. Like, I feel like if they had left like a slice open or something, maybe it would have made more sense. I've also been told that it really doesn't fit on the dress form. I already sold mine, so I can't show you. But the dress form has like a very big badonkadonk butt. Like, much bigger than the bottoms on these guys as far as like how far it sticks out. So I think that might have something to do with why it wouldn't really fit on the dress form very well. I don't know. But anyway, you guys, so I dyed Jett just so you can see what she'd look like. I also think that probably like an indigo hair would look really amazing on her. Maybe even like a dark green, because I've done the green on Amaya. I've done purple on her. I think all of those colors would also go really well with Jett. Honestly, if I do end up with a third one, I'm thinking like a half purple to go with her eyes better. Half black would be really hot. So yeah, just a thought. If you guys happen to dye Jett, like, tag me on Instagram or whatever, or yeah, like Facebook. Like, I would love to see it. I will say though, right quick on the Facebook note, I do not mind you guys adding me on Facebook as a friend, but hear me out. I rarely ever post my dolls there, as much as it's really just kind of for my family and like close friends that actually know me in person. But yeah, I don't know, you guys. So you totally can, but try to send me a message first. Because if I get friend requests from people where I have like no friends in common and I don't know you, I'm probably going to go ahead and deny it, because I'm going to assume that either you're like a bot or who knows what. So yeah, definitely send me a message first. I know a lot of times it kicks back to like my request box, so I don't see it immediately. But if I know that like you're from a doll group and you're trying to request me, whether it's talk about hair dye or just share like your stuff with me, maybe you don't have Instagram, whatever, like I'm totally down with that. If you want me on Facebook, it's still the same name. You can find me in most of the Facebook groups under Mia Darling, plus my like actual real last name since getting married. So that's a thing. You'll recognize the profile picture because it's me. But yeah, so definitely tag me in pictures on Instagram. Like, here's the other thing with Instagram. Sometimes when you guys comment, I don't always see it, or if you tag me in something, I don't always see it right away. And here's why. Instagram does this thing where it gives you like your last, I don't know, anywhere from like 20 to 40 interactions. But that means if anybody goes through and just likes a whole bunch of my pictures all at once, all I see is that they liked pictures. So it'll tell me I have like 10 comments, 4 new follows, you know, like 100 new likes, and it'll only show me the likes. So I have to hunt for the comments and hope that they're on the more recent photos. So what I've taken to just clicking the little heart, just like everybody's that I've seen, even if I don't necessarily agree with what you're saying, it lets me know that I've seen your comment. So if I haven't touched that little heart, that means I didn't see it. So you maybe want to go back and comment again and hope that it shows up for me. Also, it's still doing this thing where it lets some people follow me or like message me and some not. Some people will say I'm not following them, they can't message me, but then it lets bots and spam account message me, or like other random people I'm not following message me and come through even as a request, but then other people it won't, which has been really wild when I'm trying to sell dolls, because I've been selling a lot of Monster High, etc. and people can't even see it, or like I can't see their messages, so that's been fun. Yeah, definitely follow me. I'll link my Instagram down below. Tell me all about your successes with your dolls, your failures. If you need help, you can message me and I'll do my best to give advice. If you need to ask about a certain dye pattern, etc., etc. Yeah, definitely. So I'm gonna wrap this up because this video is gonna be forever long, and I still have to do all the voiceover for the other parts. I've been just kind of filming it like all week on and off in order to like get it together because it's been a really long, bad, sick week. Anyway, hopefully next week I will be able to join you guys from the huge Route 11 yard crawl. That will be really enjoyable, and then I'll probably have a week off for vacation. But until then, I'm going to give you guys as much awesome content as possible. Like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications, all that stuff, and I will see you guys next week.